Good day, Bob here in Weldnrust, and the plan is to now straighten out this fender, and with some new tools, hopefully won't break anything this time. So I went shopping the other day, and I found one of these on sale for a couple $100. I said, I can't make it for that. So I got one really good deal on this it's basically a porta-power with a bunch of extensions. You body shop guys would know exactly what this is. But my plan is to actually put it inside the fender and try and stretch it out a bit. The one that was 2 inches too short, we're going to see if we can fix it. Oh yeah, this little bit is for you, Ted. I already got the lecture of make sure you read the instructions so you know what you're doing. Most of us kind of throw them out because, well, we know everything and we shouldn't have to do that. Anyways, that's my next plan. You know, one of the advantages of using wood is it's a heck of a lot easier to screw things to it. In this case, a couple of screws which I'm going to use to hang the porta-pack on. This way I'm not trying to hang on to it while trying to operate it at the same time. Hanging out a couple of inches. These things are plenty strong enough for doing this job. Just make sure I put them a bit of an angle so they don't roll off. Battery dead. But enough to get the job done. So I got all my bits assembled. I even read the instructions to find out how they go together. And now we're going to see if we can actually get this thing to sit and work. Oops. Nope. Just a little too long, I think. Where is it? Maybe not. Maybe. Okay. All right. New end. Well, that's an unbalanced load, and it fell off. Surprise. Gotta love these unexpected surprises. Okay, the next plan is we're going to make some templates. I want one for this, and I need one for this. The idea being is that I can make the other side match this side. I'm reasonably confident that this isn't bad, so this is what we're going by to make the other one match it. So our next bit of fun, we got to make some paper patterns. I'm going to start with this one because I can butt it right up to the edge, and then we'll go from there. So to do the next pattern, I'm just going to take this one, lie it on top, see where I'm at. So it looks like this is about an inch gap there. I'm just going to overlay this one. Get my points. That's, I'm going to say about an inch up from there. So I'm going to go about like that. And that, just to give myself some rough shape as to how this thing's going to end up. Well, I think we're going to have a little bit of match issues with this. I got my match marks hit, but you can see how the fenders, no, they're not the same. It was kind of funny. It's kind of funny actually, because you point out the wrinkling here and you can see a bit of gap in here, but you can see where that's my rock point. I got a bit of fixing to do on this thing. All right, we'll get it done eventually. So we got our work cut out for us on this bit. This is so dented and banged up, I wasn't sure if I was going to replace it or try and fix it. The problem I got is now that this is welded for structure to keep things in line, cutting it out really isn't an option right now. I'm going to try beating it in submission, see if I can actually get it straighter than what it is, get some of these bad spots out. Once I got this straightened out, my next plan is I've got to make, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a wire frame that matches, using the patterns, a wire frame that matches here, and one for along here. This bit, because it's so out of whack, I'm going to have to cut it off and replace it with the wire. Same, and have a new wire on the other side. And then what I'm going to do is make a pattern from that side, figure out the shape for the panel, and then make the panel for here. I don't want to put it on just yet because I'm not sure what I'm doing with that yet. We've got this mess of weld. There's supposed to be a raised feature here. We've got this raised feature that's not supposed to be here. We got this little sharp edge here, which is going to have to come down. And the whole shape is like, yeah, just kind of nasty. So here's another example of why I keep crap all around this place. I've got a piece of pipe, was heavy wall. I got an old carriage bolt. Almost fits. I now have that pressed in. I'm going to take the lumps off of it, and now I've got a tool. In a minute, I'll show you what we do with it. Here you go, all shiny and smooth. Oh, what I'm trying to do now is feel the lumps on the inside to figure out where I'm going to put this tool. Welcome to life with telephone interruptions. Yeah, another little tip. The old panels, even this thing covered in lead that I'm not going to use, I don't throw it out because I don't know if I'm ever going to need it for making a patch panel, because this will make a pattern for it. So what I want to do is I'll clamp it on here so I kind of know where the original is going to go. Even if it's not the shape, I'll still need it to determine where the wire is going to go. Okay, we got some 1/4 inch round bar. We got our pattern. Now we're going to try and line it up with this. Okay, little aside here. One of the things that drives my wife nuts is how I can be such a perfectionist worker, yet leave such a freaking mess around. Anyways, you think I would have learned by now to every once in a while clean up? You know, I can see why some car builders like using this stuff. It's a whole lot easier to work with. My other plan was to actually make it out of aspenite, because I got some of that lying around, and then make the form that way, but this is way easier. Plus, it leaves me a lot of room inside to work. Whereas if I had the aspenite, it wouldn't work as easily. I'd have to kind of work around it. You know, the smart thing to do was put a mark on the wire itself to a reference mark on here. So every time I'm putting it in, I'm not doing this. I'm not sure where I am. Yeah, a smarter person would have thought about that before. Okay, line that up there. Figure out where I gotta cut this. There. Not bad. Now, you'll notice there is a bit of a discrepancy. This lines up good. This doesn't quite line up the same. Probably because of the bend. Because when I transfer it to the other side, I can't put the bend in it because the bend here is mirror imaged. See the curve? Holy crow. As you can see, the curve is a lot different. This thing is, yeah. This, however, actually, that's not bad. So I'll stick a bend in it to try to match it. Ironically, it fits better on this side. Okay. So, what are the chances of me getting it right the first time? Oops. All right, we've formed our second wire using our pattern. No, I was not going to subject you to the tedium of watching me go back and forth, back and forth. That's not a whole lot of fun. You've already seen me do it on here. What I need to do now is this lines up with that. And I want a mark here. Because this is going to line up with that. So we're just going to give her a tack in here. Okay. Now the bottom edge here, I want it to follow the same way it follows the fender over here. And the fender is out a little bit on the bottom here. So this needs to be out a bit as well. But there's also going to be a gap between the fender and this part. Oh yeah, you might not be able to see that. All right. Okay. The trick, what I want to duplicate on the other side is where my wire is going to sit would be theoretically inside of here. And it's going to come down. So it's going to probably be sitting somewhere around here, but on the opposite side. Right. So where I want it, there's going to be a little bit of a gap. So I think what I'm going to do, this needs to sit about here, but there. Okay, I got a trick. Little piece of metal. Give her a couple of tacks. Now, I'll put this one a little bit past here, which is where I want it. And that way I'm not trying to weld into air, because that normally doesn't work too good. You know, you'd think after watching me work for a few videos now and realize I get a little bit OCD about using a tape measure for checking, you think I would have done it on this one. Anyways, when I measure my datum point to the outside of this, I got about 7 7/8. Do it to this one, I got 8 inches. By rights, this has got to come in 8, which means this little chunk didn't need it. I'm going to cut it off and move it in. The other thing I'm going to have to do is tweak this a little bit, because if we measure from this point to the outside, I got about 6 1/8. If I do the same point over here, I got about 6 1/4. This isn't going to move a whole lot, but this one will. So I can tweak this over, literally bend it a bit to get it the same. This way I know when I make my panel, I know where I have to go to, so it'll match on the other side. Well, we got something done today. This dimension is now the same as the other side. This is the same as the other side. Shapes are the same according to the templates. So by rights, when we make the panel, it should be a match for the other side. Well, that's going to be another interesting little trip. Just a little suggestion. You guys would do whatever you want, but my recommendation, if you get a chance, go to Make It Custom and watch Carl when he works with paper patterns on how he makes panels. Because I figured I learned a few things from it, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those lessons, but I'm going to have to tweak them a little bit when we go and do this little project. So if you want to go and watch that, feel free. Then it'll make a little bit more sense when we go and work on this panel. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching, for subscribing. It really helps when you do that, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.